guys, welcome to another video. Today we're working on the Juke and we're going to be doing a maintenance style upgrade. So check it out. Let's see what we got hands on. Alright, so here's the tools we're going to use. Here's the part I'm replacing. This is an oil feed line for the turbo. Picked this up at thefastreligion.com. Matt over there is an awesome guy. He is super knowledgeable about Nissans and specifically the Juke itself. So if you're looking to like boost your performance on your Juke or just headache-free upgrades you want to do, I say head over there. He's awesome, super knowledgeable and that good stuff. Tools I'm going to use, just a couple tools I have that I'm going to try and get this thing off of here. It's definitely going to need this, you know, get those rusty bolts off, because on the turbo, these bolts are really tough. Some of them actually might be stuck on. So we're going to spray that down with some PB Blaster, get those bolts off the heat shield so we can get to this oil feed line right here. This is the line we're replacing. Mine has no issues right now. I'm just doing preventative maintenance so that I don't have issues in the future. So what happens is right here in that section, before it gets to the braided line, it starts to break down inside and clogs up. So that will prevent oil from getting to the turbo, and we don't want that to happen, you know, because no oil in a turbo means boom. So we're gonna get that off the Juke, replace it with this nice robust feed line, and we'll be good to go. All right, so let's see how to attack this. First thing we're gonna do, get this nice cover off and try and get the heat shield off, and then we'll go ahead and start attacking the actual line. Cool. Alright, with that off the way, the bolt we gotta go and get after next is down here. See if you can see that. It's right here. Point to it, that bolt right there. Now the second cat down pipe, this piece here is kind of bulges out, so it's kind of tough to get the ratchet onto it. So I'm going to kind of pound on that to get that out the way. You can already see there's an indentation there, and that way I can kind of get this onto that piece there. Start loosening that up, then I can get that main line off. I've got this undone here, and then it should be able to swing around. Then I can pull the heat shield off and then start undoing the bolt that's underneath there. Alright, so I had to kind of bang that part up. This downpipe piece, had to beat it up a little bit, but I got it off. Here's the bolt here. That's a 17 millimeter bolt. It was a pain to get to. You know, there's no way to get your wrench onto that part without, you know, using a pry bar and all that good stuff to get down in there. So you can see a little bit. That's where I kind of hit it. Then I was able to finally get the bolt on, pull it off, and so now what we're going to do is get this heat shield off here, and undo the bolt that's in there, and then the piece is free. Alright, heat shield is loose. Now we're going to get after this bolt here. Like I say, this will all come off finally. So let's go ahead and undo that bolt. Alright, so we got it all off. Let's go ahead and pull this line on out. And here it is. There we go. That bolt and this bolt goes on that side. So that's the whole oil feet line. As you can see, my oil's a little dirty, so it looks like it's about time for an oil change. But now we're going to put this piece together, piece by piece, and then get this onto the car. Alright, so now we can go ahead and put on the new braided line. Now how it comes out of the package is it's got the washer here on the opposite side. So we're going to take this piece off. Don't lose the washer, because these are not steel, they're aluminum. So if you lose that down in there, you'll probably never get it back. So we're going to take this part off of that piece, flip it around, go on that piece, and we're going to thread this onto the hole where we took off the very first bolt. All right. Alright, with that nice and snug, we'll go ahead and take our 18 and tighten it up. Not too tight, because you don't want to end up stripping it. Alright, with that tight, now we can go ahead and put this piece on. We'll go ahead and thread that on by hand and tighten it up with our 15 millimeter here. Okay. Now it's about all the way tight, but we want to make sure we angle it this way, away from the heat shield, because you don't want it to get too hot. And then go ahead and tighten it up with your ratchet. Okay, with that tight, now we can go ahead and install the other side to the turbo. And we're gonna do the same thing. Take this piece off, swap the washer to the other side, and put the fitting on to the turbo. All right, now we're going to tighten that on with our 18 millimeter and snug it. Okay, that's nice and tight. Now we're going to adapt this onto it. That's on nice and tight. We're gonna go ahead and snug all that stuff up. Wrenches, get the heat shield back over it. Probably tuck this around here, away from all the heat, and we should be good to go. Start it up, check it for leaks, and then we'll be done. Oh yeah, and we gotta put this back on. Okay, everything's back together. I'm gonna leave the heat shield bolts off of here, just leave that like it is. I might actually eventually end up taking the heat shield off, but I have to remove this. I don't feel like messing with it right now, but I have it coming out through here, and it's going underneath. I wanted to make sure it's not rubbing up against this vacuum hose here, so it's got enough wiggle room, a little vibration room. Everything looks good. I'm going to start the car up, make sure down there that it is not leaking on this part here. There you go, that part right there. Want to make sure no oil is coming out of there, not leaking. And then as well, out of this part here that we put on, make sure that part is not leaking. So let's start it up and then we'll get to checking it. Yeah, that part looks good too. I don't see any leaks coming from there. So that section's good. And so far this section's good. Alright guys, if you made it to the end, that was a successful project, swapping out the OEM oil feed line for this new oil feed line. So hopefully I won't ever have to mess with that again, because the OEM one, it's known to go out eventually, and Nissan has those parts on back order. I'm not sure how they are with the part now, but it is more expensive. With the Fast Religion part, it's easier to swap out if for any reason it ends up failing in some sort. You know, you can just buy a section or a fitting or something like that. So won't have to touch that again. You know, this is a more reliable feed line than the OEM one. So I'll have all the links and all that stuff in the description. So till the next mod, guys, I'll catch you later.